The Galactic Concord Assembly was a glittering marvel of interstellar architecture, a floating city of crystal and chrome orbiting a pulsar star. Its central chamber buzzed with the cacophony of 100 alien languages, clicks, hums, and something that sounded like a malfunctioning coffee grinder. At the heart of this chaos stood Ambassador Maya Torres, a 5 feet 3 inches human from Earth, looking distinctly unimpressed as she dusted glowing pollen off her diplomatic jumpsuit. "I swear, I didn't mean to insult your deity," Maya said, her voice carrying a mix of exasperation and charm. "How was I supposed to know that sneezing during your anthem is a declaration of eternal feud?" Behind her, sprawled across the polished floor like a furry black rug, was her companion, Loki, a massive, 220-pound hybrid of a Tibetan mastiff and a genetically revived direbear, an extinct Earth predator brought back through some ethically questionable science. Loki's golden eyes flicked lazily across the room, but his ears twitched with every sound, betraying the predator's focus beneath his fluffy exterior. The chamber erupted in chaos. The Varkaloth delegate, a 10-foot-tall insectoid with mandibles that could crush steel, clacked furiously, "You have dishonored the sacred pollen. By the code of Vark, I, Warlord KZZTVAR, demand satisfaction in the arena of infinite grudges." Maya blinked. "Wait, what?" "I'm here to sign a trade deal for synthetic algae, not to wrestle a praying mantis." The translator implants in the room whirred, struggling to keep up with the overlapping protests. A floating orb, the Zinari mediator named Quelix, pulsed with iridescent light. "The code is clear," it intoned, its voice like a synthesized harp. "A challenge has been issued and accepted by default. The human must face Warlord Kstevar in combat." Maya threw her hands up. "Combat? I'm a diplomat. My weapons are witty banter and a killer PowerPoint presentation." She glanced at Loki, who yawned, revealing teeth that could double as industrial saw blades. "Also, I'm allergic to pollen. Can we maybe talk about that instead?" Kstevar's mandibles twitched in what Maya hoped was amusement, but suspected was hunger. "Your puny stature mocks our traditions? Human. Perhaps your species should send someone taller next time." The room's atmosphere shifted as Loki lifted his head, his fluffy ears perking up. Several delegates instinctively checked their escape routes. Maya's lips curled into a dangerous smile. "First, I'm 29, not a child. Second, I didn't bring a weapon because this was supposed to be a peace summit. And third," she glanced at Loki, who was now sitting upright, his bear-like bulk making the floor creak. "I never said I was alone," KZZTVAR scoffed, his compound eyes glinting. "You brought a pet. Does it fetch sticks or beg for scraps?" "Oh, Loki fetches," Maya said, her voice dripping with mischief. "But sticks aren't really his thing. He prefers bigger game." Loki stood, and the room fell silent. At his full height on all fours, he was nearly as tall as Maya, his shoulders broad enough to block out a small sun, his fur, a mix of midnight black and silver streaks, rippled over muscles that suggested he could bench press a shuttlecraft. When he shook himself, a low rumble echoed through the chamber, like a distant thunderstorm. "Ladies, gentlemen, and esteemed beings of indeterminate gender," Maya said, her tone conversational, "meet Loki, my diplomatic companion. He's a hybrid of a Tibetan mastiff and a direbear, bred in the Arctic labs of Earth's Northern Coalition. His kind was designed to protect humans from polar bears, rogue drones, and the occasional rogue AI with an identity crisis." Loki took a single step forward, his claws clicking ominously against the crystal floor. The sound was like a judge's gavel in a courtroom. Quelix's orb flickered nervously. "What, precisely, is a direbear?" Maya grinned. "Think of a grizzly bear, but bigger, meaner, and with a PhD in ripping things apart. They went extinct 10,000 years ago. But we brought them back because, well, humans love a challenge. Loki's great-grandma was a mastiff, so he's got all the loyalty and none of the eat-your-face-for-fun vibes. Mostly, Loki panted, his tongue lolling out, revealing a maw that could make a shark jealous. A delegate from the Gore's Odd Collective whispered, How heavy is it? Only about 220 pounds, Maya said, scratching Loki's ear. He leaned into her touch, looking for all the world like an oversized puppy. Pretty average for his breed. He's basically a lapdog, if your lap is the size of a hover car. HFY's mandibles stopped clacking. This creature is not permitted in the arena. The code specifies single combat. Maya tilted her head, her smile turning sharp. Actually, I read your code on the shuttle ride over. Section 19. Clause 8. Combatants may bring their natural extensions, including symbiotic partners. You're bringing those fancy claws of yours, right? Well, Loki's my claws. Humans and canines have been teaming up since we were throwing rocks at mammoths. It's in our DNA. The chamber exploded in protest, but Maya's voice cut through like a laser. If you're calling that unfair, I'd hate to accidentally insult another deity by suggesting your laws are outdated. That would be another challenge, right? Quelix's. Orbdent. No, we wouldn't want that. The challenge stands. Combat will commence in 1 galactic hour. Maya clapped her hands. Perfect, Loki. Let's go stretch those legs. You're gonna need a snack before we teach Warlord Xavar about teamwork. As she and Loki strolled out, the delegates' murmurs grew frantic. Several were already updating their species' dossiers on humanity, with phrases like unpredictable and terrifyingly cooperative scribbled in the margins. In the diplomatic quarters, Maya rummaged through her supply crate while Loki lounged on a reinforced cot that groaned under his weight. Okay, buddy, she said, pulling out a vacuum-sealed bag labeled direbear protein mix, now with 200% more synthetic bison. You get one treat before the fight. Don't give me those puppy eyes. We're on a budget. Loki whined, a sound that rattled the room's fixtures. Maya sighed and tossed him the bag, which he caught midair and devoured in one gulp, packaging and all. You're gonna regret that when it's time for your annual vet check, she muttered. A nervous knock interrupted them. A technician, a spindly creature with 6 arms and a clipboard, peeked in. Ambassador Torres, we need to discuss arena safety protocols. Maya raised an eyebrow. For who? Me, Loki, or the guy who thinks he's gonna win by flexing his mandibles? The technician's arms twitched. For everyone, the arena's force fields are designed for energy weapons, not whatever that is. He gestured at Loki, who was now licking his chops and eyeing the technician like he was a particularly crunchy snack. Loki's a professional, Maya said, patting his head. He only chews what I tell him to chew. Usually, the technician didn't look reassured. Warlord KZZ Tavar has requested additional armor and a plasma cannon. He says it's within the code. Maya snorted. Of course he did. Tell him to bring a tank if he wants. Loki's got this. She leaned down to Loki's level. Right, buddy. You ready to show them what a direbear-mastiff hybrid can do? Loki's tail thumped once, shaking the floor. The technician fled. The Arena of Infinite Grudges was a colossal dome of shimmering energy, its walls pulsing with holographic displays of past battles. The crowd, a mix of diplomats, warriors, and interstellar influencers live streaming to their home planets, roared. As Maya and Loki entered, Maya wore a sleek, lightweight jumpsuit that looked more like yoga gear than combat armor. Loki, meanwhile, looked like he just rolled out of a Viking legend, his fur gleaming under the arena lights. Across the 300-meter arena, Warlord Xavar made his entrance, his exoskeleton gleaming with extra plating. His mandibles clacked in a rhythmic challenge, and a plasma cannon hummed on his shoulder, tracking Maya's every move. The crowd went wild, assuming this was a foregone conclusion. Loki, Maya whispered, he's showing off. Let's give him something to think about. The arena announcer, a floating drone with a flair for drama, boomed, Citizens of the Concord, Witness the clash of Warlord KZZ-TVA versus Ambassador Maya Torres of Earth. Combat begins on my signal. Maya raised a hand. Quick question. Do I get, like, a warm-up? Maybe a stretching montage. Combat begins now. The drone declared. KZZT single quotes VAR charge, his massive legs churning the arena floor into dust. His plasma cannon fired a sizzling bolt, which Maya dodged with a casual sidestep, as if avoiding a puddle. The crowd gasped. Loki, meanwhile, didn't move. He sat beside Maya, his golden eyes locked on the charging warlord. Any time now, buddy, Maya said, her tone as calm as if she were ordering coffee. At the last second, Loki exploded into motion. One moment, he was a fluffy statue. The next, he was a 220-pound missile of fur and muscle, covering the distance in a blur. HFY's tactical HUD screamed warnings about an unidentified high-velocity threat. He swung his claws, but Loki was already airborne, slamming into the warlord's side with the force of a runaway freighter. The impact sent KZZTVA skidding across the arena, his armor sparking. Loki landed gracefully, circling his opponent, with the patience of a predator who knew dinner was inevitable. The crowd's cheers faltered, replaced by stunned silence. Fun fact, Maya called out, strolling toward the chaos as if on a leisurely walk. Loki's breed was trained to take down megafauna. Think woolly rhinos, saber-toothed cats, or that one time he tackled a malfunctioning snowplow. Your armor's tough, warlord, but it's got joints, right? HFY roared, swinging his plasma cannon. Loki ducked under the blast, his jaws snapping shut on the warlord's elbow joint. The crunch of metal echoed through the arena, followed by KZZTVA's howl of frustration. His cannon arm went limp, servos whining. See, that's the thing about predators, Maya continued, her voice amplified by the arena system. They don't fight like soldiers. They don't trade punches or salute before striking. They find weaknesses and exploit them. Loki's just doing what comes naturally. HFY backed against the arena wall, trying to limit Loki's angles. But Loki adjusted, feinting left before darting right, his jaws targeting the warlord's knee joint. More metal buckled, and HFY staggered. He's not even trying to kill you, Maya said, now close enough to lean against a barrier. If he wanted you dead, we'd be cleaning up warlord bits right now. He's just disabling you. Nice and civilized. KZZTVA's remaining claw slashed wildly, but Loki was gone, circling for another strike. His movements were a dance of precision and power, each attack targeting a weak point in the warlord's armor. The crowd was now whispering, some in awe, others in terror. Surrender. HFY gasped, dropping to one knee as his armor's power systems flickered. I yield, Loki. Off, Maya commanded. Loki immediately backed away, sitting, with a third that shook the arena. His golden eyes never left KZZTVAR, but his tail gave a single, almost mocking wag. Good call, Maya said, strolling over. Loki was just warming up. You fought well, though. That armor's impressive. Took him a whole 3 minutes to turn it into scrap. HFY stared up at her, his compound eyes wide. What, are you? Maya grinned. I'm a diplomat. Loki's my partner. We're a package deal. Humans don't fight alone, we build teams. Packs. Whatever you want to call it. It's kind of our thing. The crowd erupted, some cheering, others frantically updating their threat assessments. A few influencers were already posting clips, with hashtags like #HumanVolfPack and #DONTMessWithEarth. As Maya and Loki exited the arena, the station's lights flickered, replaced by pulsing red emergency beams. Alarms blared, and the announcer drone's voice crackled over the intercom. All personnel, this is not a drill. Unknown vessels have breached the outer perimeter. Evacuate to safe zones immediately. Maya pressed herself against a corridor wall. A squad of Concord security bots clattered past. Loki's ears flattened, and a low growl rumbled in his chest. "Easy, boy," Maya said. "Let's not eat the help." A security officer, a feathered avian named Lieutenant Scree, approached, her crest twitching nervously. "Ambassador Torres, you need to evacuate now. Raiders 20 ships, military grade. They're jamming comms and demanding surrender." Maya's eyes narrowed. "Let me guess, they saw the arena fight on the Galactic livestream and decided to take a swing at the weak human diplomat." Scree's feathers puffed up. "Something like that. They're from the Varkala fringe, KZZ Tavar S clan. They think capturing the station will restore their honor." The station shook, and a distant explosion echoed through the corridors. Loki's growl deepened, his nose twitching as he scented the air. "How many raiders?" Maya asked. "Estimates. Say 300. Heavily armed. We've got 80 security personnel, mostly trained for crowd control, not warfare." Maya looked at Loki, who was now standing, his fur bristling. "Loki, remember that time we cleared out those poachers in the Arctic? Same vibe, just with more lasers." Loki's tail wagged once, and he moved to a nearby tactical display, his nose pressed against the screen. Scree squawked. "Is he reading that?" "Yep," Maya said. "Loki's trained to interpret human tactical interfaces. He can't talk, but he's smarter than most generals." "Show her the plan, buddy." Loki's claw tapped a section of the display, highlighting a cluster of raider ships near the station's docking bay. He looked back at Maya, then at Scree, as if to say, "This is where we start." Maya activated her comm unit. "This is Ambassador Torres to all security teams. I know you're outgunned, but Loki and I can help. He's trained in pack tactics tracking, coordination, and hitting weak points. Anyone want to join the hunt?" The comm crackled, and a gruff voice responded. "This is Captain Vren. Ambassador, no offense, but one dog and a human won't turn the tide against 300 raiders." Maya laughed, the sound sharp and confident. "We're not one dog and a human. We're a pack, and packs are bigger than they." Look, the station's corridors became a battlefield, with raiders in sleek, black armor pouring through breach points. Maya and Loki moved with purpose, joining a squad of security personnel at a choke point near the engineering deck. Loki's nose twitched, pinpointing the raiders' advance. "Captain Vren," Maya said into her comm, "pull your teams back from sections 4 through 9. The raiders are funneling you into a trap." Loki's marked their weak point section 12. Their rear guards exposed. "How does he know that?" Vren demanded. "Because it's what he'd do," Maya replied. "Predators think alike." "Loki, show them." Loki darted to a wall display, his claw marking a secondary breach point. He looked at Maya, then at the squad, his golden eyes gleaming with focus. The station shook again, and the sound of energy weapons grew closer. "Now!" Maya shouted. Loki surged forward, leading the squad through a side corridor. The raiders, expecting an easy advance, froze as 220 pounds of direbear hybrid barreled toward them. Loki's jaws crushed a raider's weapon arm, and his howl deep, primal, and bone-chilling echoed through the station. The security team followed, their movements suddenly precise, guided by Loki's instincts. Maya stayed back, coordinating via comm. "Vren, hit their left flank while Loki keeps their leader busy. Think of him as your furry drill sergeant." The raiders' confidence crumbled as Loki wove through their ranks, disabling weapons and armor with surgical precision. The security team struck hard, exploiting the chaos. Within minutes, the raiders were retreating, their comms filled with panic shouts about the beast and the human's trap. One raider, a grizzled veteran, dropped his weapon and raised his claws. "We surrender. Call off the monster." Maya strolled forward, hands in her pockets. "He's not a monster. He's Loki, and he's just doing his job. You guys, on the other hand, picked the wrong station to crash." Hours later, the Galactic Concord Assembly reconvened in a half-repaired chamber. Maya sat in the center, Loki sprawled at her feet, looking smug as only a direbear hybrid could. The delegates stared at her, their expressions a mix of awe, fear, and grudging respect. Prime Minister Thaler, a reptilian diplomat, cleared his throat. Ambassador Torres, your methods have upended our understanding of diplomacy. 300 raiders defeated by 80 security personnel and one creature. Loki's not a creature, Maya said, scratching his ear. He's family. And he didn't defeat the raiders alone, he taught your teams how to think like a pack. Quellix's orb pulsed. The raiders' surrendered broadcasts are spreading across the galaxy. They claim humans don't fight, they hunt. They say you turn allies into weapons. Maya shrugged. We prefer to call it teamwork. Humans don't win by being the biggest or strongest. We win by making everyone around us better. Loki's just really good at reminding people of that. High Arbiter Vix stood. We must revise our protocols. Humanity's approach cooperation. Pack tactics requires a new classification. How about friends who bite? Maya suggested, grinning. It's catchy, right? The chamber erupted in nervous laughter. As the session adjourned, delegates whispered about the human pack and the direbear doctrine. Outside, repair crews worked, and the galaxy buzzed with a new truth. Never underestimate a human diplomat, especially when she's got a 220-pound partner with a taste for chaos.